What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another run here in American Truck Simulator. Today we're going to get a little scientific, if you will. Miles per gallon, fuel economy, MPG. That's what I'm going to be testing here. I have a stock 579. I've got the Viper 2 Alcoa rims off the 389 on here. I also have the most recent version of Captain Kriechbaums, yeah, I think I said it right. 2.4 engines and sound pack. Underneath the hood right now is a Cummins ISX 15 550 horsepower hooked up to a 13-speed with retarder transmission. Other than that, really nothing else is done to the truck here on the outside or on the inside. Hauling today is the Triple Crown trailer, and this is actually a trailer that is on the Steam Workshop as a standalone trailer. So links for all three of those items will be in the description. Be sure to check that out there. Now, once I get on the road here, I'll explain what I plan on doing and talk a little bit about that, as well as today also talk about some of these Triple Crowns and where I have mainly seen them. Many of you might not know what they can be used for, so it might be kind of interesting if you guys haven't seen these before. So let's get moving. So the one thing I have heard a handful of people mention before, but no one really ever talked about in depth, was fuel economy. You know, if you guys have messed with your computers inside the trucks, you have seen that you do have an instant and average MPG gauge in the computer on your cab, which, as I hit the wrong button, there we go. Let's see, 299 gallons is what I have. Hit I to tab over, and there we go. So I'm going to go ahead and zero this out. There we go. Average is 0.0. And I just missed the green light. But what I'm going to be looking to do here, going from Fresno to Bakersfield, Walmart to Walmart, I'm going to look and see what that average MPG is going to be. And what I'm going to do that against here is the next truck is going to be in an automatic. Not something I've ever driven before, so I don't... Wow. That cop was almost doing an endo because he was having to hit the brakes so fast. And he still blew the red light. Write yourself a ticket, dude. Anyway, I've never driven an automatic in the game, so I don't know what to expect. I've only driven manuals. But I've had people mention fuel mileage. As far as I know, I don't think really anyone has really tried to achieve any worthy fuel mileage. You know, no one's, driving like a grandma or doing anything like that. So, for the most part, most of you guys probably aren't going to give a crap. But it's something that kind of popped in my head here. Did SCS really try to do anything with that? There are some mod options. The GT Mike's Epic Aero package for the 579 and the T680. Now those are just cosmetic, though, I would assume. I don't see them really, working with the game here and increasing your MPG. Now, one thing I am open to doing is actually trying that if I do see a difference here between the manual and automatic transmissions here. I'm going to be going the same routes from same start to same end, same highway. I'm going to be hauling the same trailer with the same weight. As you see here, oh, not too far. There we go. 44,000 pounds. So I'm going to try to keep everything the same as best as I can. The only thing I'm going to do differently here is I'm going to drive normal. So I'm going to probably set the cruise here at 60. There we go, 59. Let's bump it up one more. Oh, that's 61. Too far. There we go. So I'm going to leave it right here. And aside from any possible traffic issues, we'll see. know, screw it, I'm gonna get over now. Just as he hit the brakes too. Very nice. I'll be able to compare the two here with my average MPG as well as gallons used to see if there really is any kind of not aerodynamic, but any kind of fuel mileage built into the game here, if they really took into account any of that stuff. Now, one other thing I could probably do to try to, you know, kind of put this off here is maybe get a day cab. Ooh, getting some jitters here. Maybe get a day cab or just a regular sleeper, not the aero cab that I have on here. That maybe, you know, if I do see any difference here between the manual and automatic, that is another option I am willing to go ahead and entertain as far as looking for differences in MPG. Now, if they both come out the same, then I'm probably not going to worry about it, because I've always been told an automatic is going to have a better MPG than the manual as far as trucks. But then again, I've always been told that cars with manuals have better MPG than automatic. So you guys can go ahead and debate that and try to correct me all you want in the comments. You know, this is something I'm going to take a look at and see what the difference is going to be, if there is one. I really don't think there is going to be one, so it'd be nice to know if there is something. Not that it really is going to change anyone's driving style. You know, it's not going to change mine. It's not going to change any of yours. But as for these trailers, now, these things here, and I'm going to try to impose a photo, but these trailers are not your normal semi-trailers. These are also train cars. Triple Crown trailers, and it was the damnedest thing and kind of the coolest thing. These trailers, and I don't know if it works for any others, but can also be double as actual train cars. And what that means is they take the trucks, that's what the wheels are, the carriers and the wheels underneath train cars are called trucks. They take those off and they attach one to the back of it. They take one and put it between the two trailers. One half of the truck gets attached to the back of the trailer. The other half of the truck gets attached to the front of the other trailer. So it's that one truck is bridging two trailers, and they go down the line doing that. And so essentially the trailer is now no longer a trailer, it is an actual part of the train. It is actually the train car, the car chassis, all of that. So, you know, I thought that was the coolest damn thing, and I've never seen any of them get loaded or unloaded. You know, I've never seen a train get built or put together with these trailers, or watching these trailers get put on the trucks to assemble a train. So it's something, now that I actually talk about it, I'm probably going to look up, but it's not also something I haven't really seen. It's been very rare. I get the feeling it's not something that really took off. You know, with the advent of containers and the 53-foot containers and how many trucking companies have gone with those, like Schneider, J.B. Hunt, for example, using semi-trailers as the actual train cars probably became kind of a moot point. But then again, you know, it's something I would probably want to investigate into, you know, what it takes to can any trailer be used as a train car? Or is it only specific ones? I have not seen too many Triple Crown trailers, so, you know, it's not like I've been able to get up close and personal to investigate. Maybe they've got a, you know, the underside of the trailer, maybe it's beefed up, you know, it has more cross bracing or something like that, I don't know. Alright, get in the spot, there we go. Oh, just missed it. Alright, so what do we got here? 5.9 MPG. And the let's change. Oh, I just missed it. 287 is what I have left. So, 12 gallons. Well, I'm going to say 13 because it was 300. So, 13 gallons, 5.9 MPG. Alright, time to drop an automatic in this thing, reset everything, get the trailer back, and try it one more time. Alright everyone, welcome back. Run number 2 here, same truck, same parts, except for an automatic transmission. So, this is being interesting. Oh wait, I don't need the clutch. I just went and pushed in the clutch. I don't need to do that. All I need to do is go into drive. So there we go. Now on this run, I'm gonna drive 55 as well, instead of doing 60. So I'm gonna try to be a little more conscious when it comes to using the gas pedal here. Transmission setup is still going to be a 13 speed. As far as in the settings, because an automatic is not something that you pick when you go pick your transmission. You can pick whatever transmission you want, 9, 10, 13, 15, 18, doesn't matter. As far as it driving like an automatic, that's something in your settings. You go into your controls, and I forgot we dropped down in speed here for some reason. But you go into your controls, and that is where you can change from simple automatic to real automatic, sequential, and H shifter. So I selected real automatic. Now, the one thing I have heard complaints about with automatic trucks, automatic trans trucks, is they're horrible on hills. Volvos are actually one that I've heard a lot of complaints with from drivers over the years. Their cruising speed is just perfect. You know, you can't ask for a better cruising speed, RPM-wise and comfort-wise. But when it comes to a small hill, the truck, if you're in a manual, you have to downshift right away, because although it's perfect for cruising on flat land or downhill, as soon as you start to go uphill, regardless of the incline, whether it's, and one driver said, it could be just a small bunny hill where you only are going up 10 feet over, a quarter mile or something. I still have to downshift when I've got a trailer load on. So, double-edged sword. You've got the nice ride, low RPM, good fuel mileage, but as soon as you encounter an anthill, you're having to chase gears. I've also heard complaints about when you do be down a hill on an incline. The transmission is chasing gears. It doesn't know where it needs to be. Now, a lot of these opinions are years out of, it's been a couple of years since I've really been able to sit down and talk to any drivers. So maybe the newer transmissions are, a little better. The last year or two models, maybe they are better. I don't know. I have heard a lot of companies are switching over to automatic transmissions rather than manuals. Not so much because of the driver and not knowing how to do it, but for fuel, for cost, things like that. And I would think an automatic would actually cost more than a manual, but I don't have pricing books here in front of me, so I really can't say. But that is something I have been told, that many companies are switching over to automatic transmissions in their trucks, which is, well, a little unfortunate, but, you know, a lot of people these days just don't know how to drive stick. It doesn't matter if it's in a car, a pickup, or a big truck. It doesn't matter. Driving stick is kind of like cursive. It's starting to go the way of the dodo bird. I mean, there's many schools that don't even teach cursive anymore. Indiana just had to pass a bill, or they're trying to, that is mandating cursive be taught in school. So, I know my son learned it, and he's 16, so I don't know what kind of school systems are doing it, but anyway, that's a different topic for a different time. But, I don't think we'll ever see the end of manual transmissions, especially in trucks. Maybe in cars, but not in trucks. There's always going to be a home for a manual transmission in a truck. Now, talk to me in two generations from now, maybe it'll be a different story. But, you know, I think for the next 50, 60 years, I think we're fine. We're not going to see it happen in the next week, but it's just one of the trends that the trucking industry is going through, I guess. Right now, looking at the MPG though, 5.5. I mean, it's got to go up a little bit more, 4 more tenths of a gallon, but and the exit's coming up here, so I don't think it's gonna happen. Driving slower, 55 miles an hour compared to 60, and so far. And I didn't see what the average was at this time, at this point. But I think it's safe to say if I'm pulling into Walmart and it isn't at 5, well, there's 5.6. And yeah, I kind of just blew that stop sign. I expected the engine brake to hold me back a little bit more. .5. Mount Walbart. Big ass, insanely huge speed bump there. Do is let off the gas and all of a sudden just boom, turn the engine brake off, and there we go, shifting to neutral, the parking brake, and drum roll, 5.4. Ouch. And what do we have for gallons? So we used the same amount of gallons, and but the MPG was 5.4 compared to 5.9 for the manual. Maybe SCS did do a little bit of homework. Alright, well there you go. If you guys are worried about fuel economy, even driving sensible at the speed limit still got worse gas mileage than just doing 60 in the manual. So, there we go. That's it for now, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. Thank you for watching. I will see you guys next time on the next run. Until then, take it easy.